The 90s, so my favourite ever era. An era of the Spice Girls, butterfly clips, and these disgustingly skinny eyebrows. Okay, I'm kind of glad that they're gone, but I love pretty much everything else 90s. So when I seen this picture of Drew Barrymore from the Face magazine from 1994, I just had to recreate the look. It is just, I mean, can you get more 90s than that? That is literally the most 90s thing I've ever seen in my entire life. To prime my skin for foundation and even out any texture that I have, I'm going to use the Collection Primed and Ready Mattifying Pore Minimising Primer, and this is really nice. It feels really lightweight on the skin, and I find that my foundation does sit a lot better and last a lot longer when I've used this. And I've just took a little bit in the back of my hand and I'm putting it mostly on the centre of my face because that's where not on my hair, because that's where I have the most texture that I want to get rid of. For foundation, I'm using the Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation in the shade F4. This is one of my favourite foundations probably ever actually. If you use a little bit, it can be like a medium coverage foundation, or if you use a lot, it's really good for being like a really full coverage. And once I've set this will also just be really nice and matte, which is the skin effect that we're going for, because in the 90s you never really had like that really dewy, nice, glowy skin. It was more like matte everywhere, so this is kind of the perfect foundation for it. This might be a tiny little bit light for my skin because I think I still might have a bit of fake tan on, but I'm sure it'll be fine. To add a little bit more coverage in the centre of my face and kind of conceal any blemishes or redness or dark circles that I have, I am using the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and mine is in the shade C1. This is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but I'm going to sort of use this to highlight certain areas of my face as well, as I won't be using like an actual highlighter. I do always like to use a concealer that is 1 or 2 shades lighter than my skin under my eyes as well, because sometimes I can have quite bad dark circles and it really just helps to brighten up under my eyes. I don't think Drew Barrymore in that picture would have had this much concealer, but I also don't think that her face needed it as much as I do. And I'm just bouncing that into my skin with a Real Technique sponge. This isn't like an exact period makeup. This is probably not how they would have done concealer in the 90s, but it's how I'm doing it today. I feel like this heavy concealer under the eyes and used to highlight is more of like Instagram trend makeup, so probably a lot more recent than what the 90s were. But I just want a nice full coverage base to work on, because it does look like in the picture she's wearing quite a lot of makeup. I am using my sad broken bit off a palette as a mirror. I don't even know what happened to it. And to set my entire face, I'm going to use the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Finishing Powder. I've never used this before and I just bought it yesterday, so let's hope it's nice. Still on the hunt for a powder that I really love and not been successful yet, so let's hope this is the one. It smells kind of funny. And I'm just using this to set my whole face because, like I said, I want everywhere to be pretty matte. I have a cut right here on my nose and I don't know how I got it, but James has a cut in the exact same place in his nose, so aliens. This powder feels really light on my skin. It seems to be setting my makeup pretty well. Well, I'll just have to like wear it an entire day and then see how much I like it or not, see if it starts to crease under my eyes at my concealer, etc. But so far it feels pretty good, and it wasn't too expensive. I think it was like £9-ish, around about that mark. And it doesn't look to me in these pictures as if she's wearing any bronzer or any contour or anything like that, which probably would be quite common in the 90s. Like, I feel like contouring and like really bronzing up the face has been a much more recent trend, rather than in the 90s it was more about blush For blush, I'm using the NYX Babydoll blush, and as you can see, it's just this really nice, girly, kind of Barbie pink, which I think is like a very 90s kind of shade to be using. Again, I've never used this before, so I don't know how pigmented it is, so I am just going to start with like a tiny little bit and then like pat it off on my forearm just to make sure that I'm not going in with like a massive amount of blush. Although in the picture it does look like Drew is wearing a fair amount of blusher, but I'll start with a little bit and build it up. And I'm basically just placing that on the apples of my cheeks and blending up the way. It looks so weird, it looks crazy. Okay, so Drew's brows are very dark and very thin, very 90s, just like two thin lines. I'm kind of thinking that my natural brow is going to be a little bit too thick for this. But my brows are quite light, so I'm going to kind of give it a bash to the best of my ability. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have done my base makeup after I'd done my brows so that I could really like conceal and carve them out, but it's too late now, isn't it? So I'm going in with the Revolution Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown, and I'm using an angled brush as well. This is why I've never had my brows tattooed, because this is how I think they literally all look. This is how my brows used to look. So usually I would extend the inner part of my brow, but hers are pretty wide set and far apart, so I'm just going to start where my natural brow is. And hers are more arched than what mine are. So I guess try and draw them like more of like a rounded arch rather than like a sharp arch, if you know what I mean. Oh my god. My real brow hair is all like far too long and bushy for this kind of makeup. Okay, my brows are like so bushy at the top here, but I can't really get rid of them unless I trim them, and I don't want to, so we're just drawing the dark in over it to create the illusion of a skinny brow, so ignore the bushiness. And how are her brows at the front? Yeah, her brows are like pretty rounded at the front, so I'm just going to try and mimic that with the very tip of the angled brush. This probably is a little bit thicker than what hers are, but I can't help that my eyebrows are thicker than that. Hers were probably, like in the 90s, hers were probably like tweezed to within an inch of their life, so that's probably why they were literally so skinny. It's funny how brow trends change, innit? Now I'm going to try and make this one match this one. Actually, I'm going to do that off camera because I don't need the stress. Okay, so they are somewhat similar, by no means the same, but you know what, it's what we're going with today. To set them in place, I'm just going to go in with my Disgustingly Dirty Anastasia Pro Brow Palette, and I'm going to go in with the shade, like the darkest side of chocolate, and I'm just going to take that on my angled brush again and literally just press it over where we've just been. And just running a powder over it will just make sure that it stays in place. For eyes, I'm using the Coastal Scents 252 Ultimate Palette. It's such a shame actually, because I literally just found out that they're discontinuing this palette. I don't know if they have any left, but if they do, I strongly advise that people get a hold of it. You get 252 colours in it, like 3 trays like this of all different colours, and I mean, it's a palette that I've repurchased again and again for years, and I have no idea why they're discontinuing it. I guess it wasn't popular anymore, but I absolutely love it, and I was kind of gutted when they says that they weren't making any more or selling anymore. So if they still have any, I would definitely go and grab that. Highly recommend. So from this palette, I am kind of going to be using just like this line of purple. I'm not sure yet what shades I'm going to go in with. I need to have another look at the picture. So in this picture here, it looks very lilac, and in this picture here, it looks more kind of like muted blue tones. So I prefer the lilac, so I think that's just what I'm going to go for. But I'm just going to use this reference picture of her with her eyes closed with the more muted blue tones to see like what kind of shape and stuff her eye makeup was. So I've already told a lie, I am not just going to use these shades of purple here. I am going to go in with this matte kind of lilac-y blue shade here, and I'm going to blend this from my crease and up. She's got hers taken up pretty high, almost to her brow bone. So I'm going to blend it in my crease, and then when there's not a lot of product on my brush, I'm going to start blending up the way. And I'm just using like a kind of fluffy brush for that. This is like a Real Techniques Essential Crease brush. And I'm almost kind of taking it on like the side of my brush actually I'm blending with. I don't really blend this way. I'm kind of blending with the brush, almost pointing upwards so that I can use like the bigger so I can use the bigger portion of the brush to blend with. I just personally find that the easiest way to do it. What the hell is that? So I'm also kind of just taking the colour on the side of my brush like that. And then kind of just using tiny little back and forward motions. And then as the product's really blended out, I'm blending it up towards my brow bone. Okay, I'm just going to dip in with the same brush and use a matte white shade from the palette and put that right under my brow bone. And this will kind of be like a matte highlight. And it also just helps to give the purple colour we've just put on like a more diffused look as it goes up to the brow. Okay, I'm just going to go in with this darker purple shade here. Because these palettes don't have any names on the colours, you just have to kind of look and see what colours I'm using. And I'm also not the best at describing colours. I mean, I think that's just purple, slightly less purple and slightly more purple. That's how I would describe them. And I'm taking that colour more on the tip of my brush because I'm working that right into my crease. And again, I'm just using like those like windscreen wiper motions to blend that from inner to outer corner. And then I'm just taking the side of the brush again and making sure that that's all blended out nicely up the way. Sorry, I should say I've like wiped my brush off before doing this. I've not got any product on it. And you can also just dip into the previous colour that we used to make sure that's all blended quite nicely. I'm actually just taking that same colour again and I'm running that on my bottom lash line, and to me it looks like hers is taken down pretty low, so I'm not being too neat with this. I'm just using the tip of my brush and literally just running it along. Excuse my face, I hate when I'm like editing these videos back and like my face is like... Okay, and what I'm going to do is go in with this like really light lilac shade here on the side of my brush and just dust that over my entire eyelid. I am only using one brush in this tutorial. I personally don't think I need more than that. Okay, and what I'm actually going to do is just go in with the darker purple that we already used in the crease, and I'm just going to put it back in the crease again because I feel like we kind of lost it a little bit there. So I'm just doing literally the exact same thing that I've done before. And then with this like darker purple here, I'm just taking that on the tip of my brush again and I'm putting it at like the very outer section of my eye, and then I'm working that up into my crease. But I'm not using loads of this, I am just using like a tiny little bit. Just to create like a little bit more depth, and in the picture to me it does look like her inner and outer corner is slightly darker than the centre of her eye. And I'm just doing the exact same thing on like the inner part of my eye. Taking it up into the crease. And this does just make like the tiniest little bit of difference to the makeup, but it does just give like a tiny little bit more depth to the eye rather than it just looking like one solid purple colour that's on your eye. Okay, so that's it for the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go in with mascara, and I'm using the NYX Full Figured Mascara. This actually is another product that I haven't used. If you can't tell, I went to NYX yesterday and got myself some new things. So I'm not sure how good this mascara is, but we shall see. I should probably shut my window, there's a lot of seagulls out there. Nice, so that's one coat of the mascara, that's pretty good I would say. I do much prefer like these plasticky little ones to the kind of bristly ones. I just find that they're so much more precise and they coat your lashes so much better. Okay, and for lashes, I just want something kind of relatively natural, but I just feel like the eye look needs a little bit something more, so I'm going to be using the Eyelure Fleur de Force Fleur Loves 3/4 length lashes. As you can see, they're just really nice and wispy, and they'll just add a little bit of something extra to the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to go off camera and do this, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. So my lashes are on, I put mascara on my bottom eyes. I don't know why, but like I feel like it is the exact same lashes on both eyes. But I kind of feel like they look totally different. This one looks so much better on that one. And I don't know, do I have a bent eye? Do I have like a tiny eye and a big eye? Because sometimes I look normal. When I look in the mirror, I look fine. When I look in pictures, I have one extremely tiny eye and one just like normal sized eye, or it might be one big eye and one normal sized eye. I don't know, but they're like not the same size anyway. But I'm rambling onto lips. So I'm using the Coastal Scent 66 lip palette, and I am going to be using this kind of corally pink colour here, and it's got like a kind of slight shimmer throughout it. I think what she's wearing may be a little bit darker than this actually. So I am just going to mix it with this like kind of darker dusky pink, and I'm going to put this on my lips as well. Okay, so that is the end of the makeup and so the end of the video. I hope that you've enjoyed coming back to 1994 with me. This was originally going to be a 90s makeup tutorial, but more like 90s supermodels with like the earthy brown eyes, and sort of like kind of like inspired by like the girls in Friends, where they've got like the really brown lips and the brown eyes. But then I just seen this Drew Barrymore makeup and fell in love with it. So if you want me to do like another 90s makeup video, I'll be more than happy to. The 90s is my era, so I'll be more than happy to do as many 90s makeup looks as you would like. So let me know in the comments if you want to see that. So if you're new around here and you'd like to see more videos, then please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!